I think that if you drink black coffee, you have a effed up mind and that you are psycho or you were in the military and that was like the only thing that was given to you to survive. So Brady, I have a question for you. What's it like when the corn is high, but the chaos is higher?
It's a lot of things, but it's never boring. This is the Farm Wife Files, Life Between the Rows. Hello, everybody. Welcome to today's episode. I literally just asked Addi if she was ready, and she's like, I have no idea what I'm supposed to be ready for, so no, I'm not ready. So normally we talk about like everyday life, and this is life between the rows, so we kind of talk about here or there, but today we're talking about your life.
No.
I'm interviewing you.
No. No one listened to No, I'm kidding.
Yeah, I don't know. I just thought it'd be kind of fun. I know when we first started the podcast, and then when we did like our intros and stuff, we said a little bit about us, but we haven't really
dug into it.
Yeah. So I just thought it'd be something fun to get away from like quote unquote topics and just
something light and airy and fun and cool.
Yeah, just get to know your co-hosts. Let's start like simple, like walk us through like Addi wakes up in the morning, your everyday life. Like what does that look like?
I would say Monday through Friday. My alarm usually goes off at like 5:30 in the morning. And you might kill me because I'm kind of like Tyler where I have to set thousands of alarms.
Yeah.
But I'm definitely like, if I need to be up and I have a scheduled time where like I know I need to be up, I usually don't sleep really well throughout the night. And I have to...
Like, you're a light sleeper, or...
I just have anxiety about being late.
Oh, okay.
So, if I know that I have to be at a meeting at 7:30 and I might need to prepare for it, like, ahead of time, or XYZ, whatever the case is, I don't usually sleep really well.
I catch myself waking up before my alarm goes off.
Yes, and that's kind of where... I'm like waking up at 2 o'clock in the morning. Anywho, usually 5:40 is when my alarm will go off for the first time. But I usually like roll out of bed that 6:30-ish time.
Okay. That's wild. Hour of alarms. I would literally.
And it's not like every hour, of course,
but...
or like throughout the whole thing, but it's definitely like 15-minute to 30-minute increments. Like
I'm just not that person.
Yeah.
Like I'm literally, if my alarm's at 6:30, I'm up at 6:25.
Yeah.
And shutting my alarm off.
I can't do it.
So anyway, continue on.
So, okay. So, and then I immediately go straight into the bathroom because I will have to like pee and I will pee my pants if I don't go straight to the bathroom. So I go to the bathroom and then usually at that time I'm like brushing my teeth, brushing my hair, doing all of the like, doing all the morning things. And then I will typically, if it's me and Max, like the dog at home, I usually let Max putz around in the morning outside because he will eat to the mailman's face.
Yeah, I was going to say he has to be in the afternoon, doesn't he?
Yes. Yep. He is a strict inside dog after like 12 p.m. Anywho, so I usually let him out, and at that time I'm like making myself a morning coffee. I don't need my morning coffee. But is
it more like an aesthetic, like you enjoy it? Like
it's something that I enjoy drinking in the morning. And so it's not that I need the coffee to wake up. It's just something that I'm spending time for myself to give back to myself, and I enjoy drinking it and it tastes good to me. And so
okay, so are you a creature of habit, or are you always making something different?
I will switch it up in regards to like right now I'm going between hot coffee and cold coffee.
Okay.
Like it's like, maybe I want cold coffee, maybe I want hot coffee. Yeah. It really just depends. And then I usually have one creamer in the fridge. Right now I have two. I have a sweet cream, like vanilla sweet cream, or I have...
Is that like what's it called?
Chobani or whatever. So I have that one, or I have like a Starbucks like caramel macchiato one. So I'm switching it up that way. But typically I have one creamer in there, but I will be the first person to say I like my creamer with a little bit of coffee.
Yeah.
So
I like the taste of coffee, but like I'm not drinking it black.
No, I think that if you drink black coffee, you have a effed up mind and that you are psycho or you were in the military and that was like the only thing that was given to you to survive. I don't know.
I could never like just do a, like, I can't imagine going and, like, pouring a cup of black coffee.
No.
I kind of like and not that I drink a lot of coffee either. I'm more like you, like a little treat or,
right.
You know, like an aesthetic type thing. But I'm making my own cold foam and like it's straight sugar with the taste of coffee.
I was going to say, I don't necessarily do the cold foam, or even when I go like buy a coffee from like Scooters, I usually ask for no whip on it. And
oh, really?
Yeah. And it's mainly because like I like an actual lid on my coffee versus the dome lids, but it really doesn't matter. I think I just don't get anything from the whipped cream, but I do like cold foam, so I just don't make it.
Yeah.
So yeah, usually then I'm drinking, or at least getting the coffee ready. If it's hot, I let it kind of sit for a little bit.
Okay, so what is that like a certain time each morning? Like, are you pretty on a schedule or?
Yes, no. Like for the most part, it's typically at this point, it's like 7:00 in the morning. So give or take, of course, if something comes up or if I know that I have a meeting and I really just need time to like go over my notes or make sure agenda or technology is working, I'll do that. So I like to keep Brooke and I were just having this conversation not too long ago, and I liked what she said. We were having a conversation about how to have like kids and raise them, and I was just like, I don't want to stop my life for my kids, but like I understand like you have to in certain points, but I want the kids to build their life around Cody and I's life. And she was just like, well, there's a difference between, and she said 2 words, but so I could get this wrong.
I think that's a really healthy outlook.
Yeah. So. And it was like, she was like, there's a difference between a routine versus a schedule. And I think those were the 2 words that she said. She goes, you can have a routine. You come in the evening, we sit down at the table, we eat supper, and then it's bath time, and then it's read a book, and then it's nighttime, or, give mom and dad kisses, and it's nighttime. I love that,
because I think I struggle with that too, where it's like, oh my gosh, Brady's such a scheduling person. Like and that's not necessarily the case. It's just we have routine. And like even this weekend, my mom made the comment, it's so nice you can just go put Taylor to bed and she puts herself to bed. Yeah, because I worked really hard to like make sure to have that routine. And like we missed out on things so that we could build that routine and start that routine. And she does really great with it. So I really agree with that.
That's how Brooke does her parenting. And I'm not Brooke, so if you have questions on her parenting, but like we were having that conversation about that. So I might do a morning coffee at 7:30 in the morning. It might be 8:00 in the morning. It really just depends like on what time of the day.
And maybe what is scheduled for your morning.
Right. And so for the most part, then it's when the coffee is either cooling down or actually making, I am unloading our dishwasher and I'm getting the dishes put away.
Chores.
Yeah. Or sometimes I might go to sleep and Cody will come home and it might be 10:30, 11, maybe even midnight past that. And he just wants something to eat. We have an air fryer like in our oven.
Oh, nice.
Like our oven is an air fryer. So that's what I do.
That's handy. I hate getting my air fryer out of the cabinet.
Well, Cody wants to use the air fryer because he's like, why heat the whole oven when I could just use something small? And I was just like, yeah, but it's something on the counter. Get it off my counter. So,
because you guys don't have a lot of counter space, unfortunately.
No, we just don't have a ton of storage in that house either. And we knew that obviously going in. But so it might be getting those things out of the way or whatever the case is. But so yes and no to a schedule and a time, but so could be doing that. And then typically, again, Monday through Friday, I am going straight into work.
Okay.
Typically am at the computer about 7:15, 7:30, really just depends on.
So does your work day look different, or is it like, okay, I clock in at 7:30 and I have like, are you scheduled meetings all day? Are you working on, and I don't know how much you want to dive into your work, but. So
I would say the work that I do is very meeting dependent.
Okay.
In order for me to do my work, I need people to sit in meetings to talk about the things. And so it's very much like not necessarily managing tasks that need to be done, but managing like who has the capacity to do such task, and like
Right.
we need to have an open and honest conversation as a group to have such conversation. So there are meetings. However, I typically am the one that schedules those meetings.
Okay.
There's sometimes where I have to be flexible and schedule them, like whatever. So I
So
try.
if you're scheduling, are you the one who's like hosting the meeting or like running
Yes.
the meeting? Okay.
Yes. And of course, like if there's a agenda item that I need somebody else to touch on because they wanted to bring it up
Right.
or whatever.
Or it's
Sure.
more of their day-to-day task.
Right. I'll put it on the schedule. I'm just going to say, all right, Brady, now I'm going to hand it over
Yep.
to you because you want to talk about XYZ
Yep.
or whatever the case is. So I typically will try to schedule Mondays and Fridays, no meetings. I have team meetings that I do not necessarily schedule every Monday morning, that just like our small little team gets together virtually, of course. And we just say like, how was our weekend? What does our
okay.
week look like?
Yeah.
You know,
Like what's on the schedule for
yeah,
everyone?
or hey, who's going to be out of office, or who's not going to be around their computer that much, or you know, does anyone need support in XYZ, or it just
Okay.
it's a good, not just work related thing, but I can say like, yeah, Cody and I had like a fun little date night on
Yeah.
Saturday or whatever. So it's a personal connection too. So that's typically Mondays or Monday mornings, and then it's various meetings throughout everything else, but I typically will do heavy meetings on Tuesday, Wednesdays, and Thursdays.
Okay.
And so my Mondays and Fridays can be like get
Lighter.
ready for the week,
Yeah.
and then make up for, or like
That's nice
wrap
that
up.
you can schedule that way.
Yeah, and again, it doesn't always work out that way, but
Right.
that's typically how it is in meetings. Because my company is across the whole United States, we have some people on the East Coast, some people on the West Coast, and so time zones are very weird too. So for the most part, in Central Time Zone, we're meeting no earlier than like that 10 a.m., 9
Okay.
a.m.-ish time, because our West Coast people
That's
are
right away in the morning for them.
right. And then we have our East Coast people that are ahead of us. So
Yeah.
they could be, you know, even later than that. So typically what my work says that I need to do is like 8 to 4, 8, 5, whatever. However, super good about where I work is they're really flexible of take off when you can take off,
Right.
do what you need to do. You're just responsible for getting your work done. When I teach,
Like it's not necessarily they expect you to be clocked in from 8 to 5. It's complete the tasks that.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah. And like you will always have a to-do list. Like if I showed you my to-do list at work right now, I need to be working, you know,
Yeah.
whatever, but it's not that. So it's really strong work-life balance, which is really nice. And I can do all of that fun stuff. So yeah, so I'll just typically be on meetings throughout the day from pretty much like 9 a.m. to like 3, 4 p.m.
Okay.
Again, depends on the day of the week. What does that week look like? Or maybe there's a bunch of people that are at a conference and we just cancel that meeting.
Yeah.
It really just depends. But I'm typically either working independently or on an actual meeting during the day.
Do you feel like that workload is pretty like day to day or like similar week to week? Or do you feel like there's weeks where like you're quote unquote slower and then the next week you're like very, very busy, don't have time for anything else? Or
Right now, it's kind of back and forth.
Okay.
And I say that because there's a lot of just days that people are needing to take off because of, you know, XYZ. So for example, going back to Thanksgiving and going back to Christmas and all of that fun, exciting stuff, like people are going to take off during that
Right.
time. So I have to maneuver meetings around the holidays. And so we might have a scheduled meeting always on Thursday at 12 p.m., but Thanksgiving's on a Thursday. So now I have to move that. And
right.
I'm only one meeting on their 20 meeting calendar. So I have to find that meeting time that will fit best with, you know, everyone else.
yeah.
So there was like a week where I have 2 people that I really needed at these meetings and they both were not able to be there. And it was 2 separate meetings. And there was, one person needed to be at this meeting and one person needed to be at this meeting because the meeting would not be effective if they weren't there.
Right.
But they were in-person meetings for other things, so I needed to move them. Well, it just happened to be on one specific week. And so I really tried to like separate those two meeting items out or those two meetings out where I can focus on that meeting because it's a large meeting that I have to do a lot of prep work and then after work for. So I do that on one week and then the other meeting on the other week. Well, sometimes they're both on the same week and that can be really stressful. So my workload will go up around that certain aspect of things, but for the most part, I'm able to move things around or
like
be able
due to your scheduling, you can kind of decide.
Yeah, or I can appreciate knowing that it's going to happen ahead of time and like the type of meetings that I'm running or having to deal with, like I'm going to know about it ahead of time. And so, and if you can't just like spring something on, and if you do, it's not like a big like 30-person meeting. It's like a one-on-one or a small group where you can fit a quick 30-minute meeting in and be cool with it. So, but yeah, so typically meetings all week long, all day long with spots in between.
Okay.
So that's typically, and I, again, try to get on about 7:30 and I work until about 4:30. Sometimes it's later if I'm like just in the groove and I have nothing. I mean, like I'm at home and doing nothing.
So you just recently went to... Well, not about recently, but working at home full time.
Yeah.
Lunchtime. Does that look super different? I mean, just because like when you were in town, it's easy to like run and maybe grab food and eat.
I think it's the opposite.
Did that? Is it really?
Yeah. Okay. So I can't remember who I was having this conversation with, but it was someone from work. And I was at the agency, I was at the location, actually working, and I did not have time to eat. So I would always have like maybe like fruits, like a box of fruit snacks in my office or, a
like
jar
some sort of snacky something.
Yeah, a jar of peanut butter or something along that line. And I could do DoorDash at work too, but I simply did not have time.
Yeah.
And so I was like if I was eating, I was feeding myself like not healthy items, or I was just literally like filling my stomach just so I could get off of the like
not
feeling
like
of hunger, right? Or my blood sugar's tanking because I haven't eaten or I haven't drinking water or something. So there's that, and then now I'm able to like really feed my body. Like it's not just like feeding my stomach, like it's literally nourishing like my whole body. So I'm able to do a lot more like healthier items. Sure, do I throw some frozen corn dogs and chicken nuggets in the the oven? Yes, but I can eat healthier now
because you have that time to set aside to like prioritize
it. And I can't get interrupted. Like that was my main thing, is like my door was a revolving door at work or when I was in person, and I could not step away. I could
even
barely
if you got
step
your
away.
food, it was just
it would like get cold because someone come in and again, do I just eat something cold just so I can have it? Sure, whatever. But I ended up like losing a ton of weight because I was actually like nourishing my body in a great way.
Yeah.
And so that's how the whole conversation with this work person, they were like, you look so good. And I was just like, well, it's because I'm eating better.
Yeah.
Like, it's not that I'm like starving myself or, on Ozempic or something like that. But
and when you were having like that snacky stuff, it maybe didn't seem like you were having a lot. But I am guilty of that too, where like I don't nourish my body with, the right proteins and fats and carbs. And so it's like, oh, okay, well, I ate a bowl of cereal. And so then 2 hours later, I'm starving. So here I am, like you're just eating junk closer together. Whereas if you would rather like actually nourish your body with a fulfilling meal, you don't need to eat again until whatever time. Oh yeah, I'm horrible about that.
Yeah. So then I would say like after, I will just say 5 p.m. That after the 5 p.m. it is vastly different. So I teach part-time, some nursing classes. And so if I'm in that quote unquote season of teaching, because what I usually do is 8 weeks on of teaching, and then I take 8 weeks off of teaching, and then I go back to 8 weeks on and then 8 weeks off. So if I'm in my 8 weeks of teaching, and it could be somewhere to 10 weeks as well, just depending on how the semester pans out and all of that fun stuff. But if I'm in a teaching season, I typically use a lunch break, but I'm driving into town, into Beatrice, so I'm able to like just office from there the rest of the day, and then I can go straight into teaching at 4:30. And then I will teach from like 4:30 to 9, and that's twice a week. And then at the end of every single semester, I typically have been helping the LPN program as well with some clinicals and helping just navigate all of that. So I've been working with that. So that takes up to at least 2, maybe 3 nights of my week that I do that. The other nights are either trying to do social events with friends or helping Cody on the farm or just whatever, but then also like throwing in silk and slate things. And
that's what I was going to say.
Like, so that is typically, and bless Brooke, but I am such a night owl.
You are.
When it comes to that. Yeah. I mean, I started sending text messages to you because I know that I'm not going to send somebody a text at 1:30 when I know that they're already not sleeping and I don't need them to look at their phone. Yeah. So I'll schedule or like I'll work on some silk and slate things or, you know, do some random things. Or I was just having a conversation with you about building an app script and how I can build like all these things. And like, but I enjoy doing those things. And so Cody will come home and he's like, "Are you working?" I'm like, "Yes, but it's something I enjoy." Like, and it's not, sometimes when he says
not necessarily work.
Yeah. He's thinking like my full-time work and it's not that. It's, you know, something else. So planning that into, if I'm not in a season of teaching, I have more time for those social events or I have more time for silk and slate things. And I try to batch those things like.
Well, and that's what I was going to ask. Do you feel like when maybe you're not teaching, but you're also in like a slower season, as in it's not like wedding season, do you still like fill your plate with so much busyness, like scheduling different kinds of stuff? Or do you feel like you allow yourself to kind of have that slow down?
I would definitely say I have more time on my hands in like a not busy season for silk and slate and then not teaching. I have more nights at home that I can like.
Is that a hard transition for you or do you enjoy it?
I kind of enjoy it, especially right when it starts, for example. So when I am freshly off of teaching, it's not that I'm looking forward to the last day because I really do enjoy like all of my students, but it's just the thought of
I don't think you would continue to do it if you didn't enjoy
this, you know. Right. And so it's the thought of like just trying to like navigate the feeling of, okay, now that I'm done teaching, I can actually get XYZ done at home. But I'm also so bad at just saying, okay, I'll get to that like in 2 weeks home. Or just like I'm going to put this off in 2 weeks because I'll be done teaching and I'm bad at that just in general because I'll be like, just give me 2 weeks and I promise I will get to it or just let me get through this XYZ and I will do it. I know that I have a super busy time coming up at the first week of the next month. And so I will be traveling a lot during that time. And so I just know that I'm going to have to mentally be ready for that, be ready to just like reset, recharge, and just do my thing. Yeah. So I guess it really just depends on all of that. But I'm typically up working at 7:30. And if I'm traveling back from teaching, I'm not home until 10:30. So I'm working up until then. Or I am done working. If I'm not teaching, I'm probably off of the computer, done working at like 8-9 o'clock at night. Of course, it's not like that solid time. Like, I might go
know
help.
There's some nights too where you're like podcast stuff, like editing or whatever, till 2 in the morning.
Yeah, like it's, and again, I'm not saying that I don't enjoy doing it, because if I didn't enjoy doing it, I would clearly not be doing it at 2 o'clock in the morning, right? Like I'm clearly making that choice. And
which sometimes that's nice to have something so enjoyable that you're like, oh man, it's 2 in the morning. I need to call it quits for the night.
Well, and I get myself in such a trance too. Like if if I'm in the groove of something and I'm
you're
like
being productive and it's like going
oh,
good.
yes.
I agree with that. Yeah, it's like hard to put something down when you're just like
yeah. And so other than that, like my role at Silk and Slate looks really different than Brooke's, for example. Like I'm much more behind the scenes. So I'm ensuring that things are paid or QuickBooks is, up and working and all of those fun things and more the logistic standpoints of things. And Brooke is like, oh, this flower looks cute and we're going to add it here. And I'm like, good for you. I don't care. Just get it done. Like, here's your task list. Go get it done.
Yep,
and then
you
Brooke's
don't
like,
want to have to deal with.
Yeah. And Brooke does the same thing. Here's your task list that I really need help with. And I'm like, all right, sounds good. Lovely. Let's go. Yep. So Brooke and I work well in that aspect of things. So yeah, that's typically my day to day is I actually eat lunch now. Good. And supper is just different. Sometimes if I know that Cody's going to be home, then I'll like make something.
Yeah, that was kind of my next question. Do you feel like more times than not you're like making a whole meal for supper, or is that kind of hard just with your guys' like revolving schedules? Or
it's much easier when I'm not teaching because I'm home on those evenings. If I am teaching, I typically Cody is self-sufficient and he might eat something frozen or leftovers, but he's not going to starve. Like he has the knowledge to do what he needs to do. But I would say I make more food when I'm not teaching because I have every night typically at home to be able to do it. When I'm teaching, I might have 1-2 nights a week that I would cook a meal, but I make more, so I know I have leftovers. Right. And so it might be like this recipe calls for 1 pound of ground beef and 1 can of crushed tomatoes. Nope, I'm putting 2 pounds of ground beef and 2 crushed tomatoes and
so
whatever.
You can have
right. And Cody, I mean, he might bitch about leftover pasta.
You mean always bitch about leftover pasta?
Unless it's the Cajun pasta.
Yeah.
Whatever. So he might, for the most part, but I've tried to like ask him like, what do you want? Or what's your plans? Because if he's also like, I'm not going to be home because I have drill or something like that, because he will have drill on Mondays, which I typically have nothing on Monday evenings.
Oh, your guys' schedules would do that.
Right. So every other Monday he has drill. Okay. So like if it's just me at home and I'm just by myself and I'm not working.
Girl dinner.
Yeah, literally it's a girl dinner.
I miss that so much.
Or I make pasta and I only make enough for me and then I'm the only one that eats the leftovers. Yeah. So it really just depends. But
okay, so 2 questions off that because I forgot to ask for lunch. What is your go-to, because you said you've been able to eat healthier and like nourish your body, go-to lunch? Because I know myself, I get in like these tangents where I will eat the same thing for like a week straight and then I'm sick of it. And then what's your go-to like family meal like for supper time?
If it's Cody approved meal for supper, it's going to be something obviously with beef and no vegetables whatsoever. I mean,
nothing green.
Yeah. Unless it's green beans. He does do green beans. But so if Cody's eating, I think my go-to like quick, I just need to do something is probably tater tot casserole. Like,
oh, I love that.
It's just so easy to make and I don't have to think about it.
It's like comfort too.
Yes.
For whatever reason. It's just like a comfort plate.
I always have those ingredients in my house. Like I might not have enough tater tots all the time, but I will always have some sort of potato that I can throw on and call it a day. So that would probably be number 1. If it was like my choice, it's pasta.
Same, I know.
Like maybe not spaghetti, but
dude, I would be 20 pounds if it wasn't for carbs.
Like
bread, pasta. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And it's like if I had a choice between what type of pasta, it's going to be a pasta bake every single day.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, it's going to be a jar of Alfredo and a jar of spaghetti sauce.
I started doing that because of you, and it is so good.
So good. So and then I'll just like obviously cook the pasta and call it a day. So that's typically what I would do. For lunch, if I don't have leftovers from like a larger meal that I made. But I, again, am kind of like you where I go into these like weird phases. Yeah. So right now I'm in like a tuna melt phase.
Really?
Yeah. Like, so I'll just take a can of tuna, put some, mayo, Miracle Whip.
Yeah.
I'm not super
I make
picky on
tuna
that.
salad all the time, and Tyler's like disgusted.
Yeah, no, I love it. And I'll just put it on an open-faced bread, put the bread in the oven, and
I've
then
never
melt some
done that.
cheese. And it literally takes 7 minutes
Yeah.
total to make. And so it's super...
I'll have to try that because I either just do like a cold tuna sandwich or eat it with crackers, like tuna salad.
Yeah, and I like cold things, but if I'm gonna like actually like try to make a meal like how I have been, I'm gonna make something warm, especially in this type of weather right now when we're just so much colder.
Yeah, I agree with that.
So
you just like crave that like warmth, like comfy comfort food,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because in the summer, I would do a cold cut sandwich.
Oh, for sure.
But I would add lettuce and pickles and onion on it. And so, like, it would be not just like a piece of bread, cheese, mayo, and
I feel like I
meat.
struggle way more in the summer cooking because it's just like you don't want, unless it's grilling, like for whatever reason, grilling just feels better.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just don't crave the pasta or the casseroles as much as I do.
I think it's just the heaviness of it, and you
Yes,
want light
agreed.
and fresh. And of course, my husband does not eat lettuce, and so that's really hard. So, yeah, whatever.
Yeah, I don't know.
He just probably needs to get over it, but
Yeah, he needs some culture in his life.
I do give him credit. He has been a lot better. So, yeah.
Okay. I think for work, my other questions were obviously you get like PTO vacation time. And I definitely want to touch on that, but we've ran out of time for this episode.
All
It
right.
went by really quick.
Yeah.
But yeah, we'll talk about it next episode.
All right. See you next episode.
See you guys. They say a farmer's work is never done. Well, neither is ours.
Come back next week for a new episode of Life Between the Rows.